In 2001, over Kerala state in India, there was a sonic boom, which some people theorized was created by a comet breaking up in the atmosphere. After the sonic boom, there was a localized red rain that fell sporadically for about 2 months. This unusual event was then investigated by a number of different groups of scientists. Whilst the investigation results were intriguing, what probably was more significant is what it tells us about how you actually should go about conducting a scientific investigation. Now, one of the groups investigating the incident consisted of 2 physicists who were interested in the panspermia hypothesis. This hypothesis proposes that life exists throughout the entire universe and can be transported between systems in space debris like comets. It led to the physicists to propose that the red rain over Kerala could have been some form of extraterrestrial life which had been transported to Earth by a comet, then scattered over the area, what they thought was a comet exploding in the atmosphere. The red water from the rain had been tested, and the colour was believed to be biological in origin. The 2 physicists then ran some tests of their own using lithium bromide, which they concluded that the biological samples within the red rain didn't contain any DNA or RNA and exhibited the ability to withstand extreme temperatures. From this, they concluded that the source of the biological component of the red rain was extraterrestrial in origin. They then published results before having them peer-reviewed. Now, the conclusions that physicists drew from their evidence was flawed, due in part to the lack of expertise in areas outside of the physics, and part due to them starting with a theory, then attempting to prove it, rather than starting with the evidence and seeing where it took them. Now, since neither of the 2 physicists were skilled in biology, they didn't know that while lithium bromide can be an indicator for DNA, with it binding to the DNA, then fluorescing under ultraviolet light, the lack of an indication isn't actually proof that DNA isn't present in the sample. Now, tests by biologists on samples of red rain have shown that the colour is actually caused by spores from a type of lichen in the genus Trentepohlia. This lichen is fairly common in the region, was able to be grown from the samples of the red rain. The rainfall that occurs at that time of year in Kerala, and the dense vegetation, considerable volume of spores can be washed away and then be the basis of the red rain. The physicists were also unaware or ignored the history of red rain. The 2001 event was far from an isolated event. There have been a number of recorded reports of red rain, mainly from southern Europe, going back about 200 years. In some of these instances, algae were found to be the cause of a red colour in the rain. Then again, the physicists lacked the meteorological background or the knowledge of how the weather systems worked in the area. The winds in the area would have very quickly blown any debris from a comet a considerable distance from Kerala, and yet the red rain was confined to a relatively small area for 2 whole months, which is totally inconsistent with the source of red rain being extraterrestrial in origin. So by starting to prove a hypothesis and then not enlisting experts who had relevant knowledge or experience that the team lacked, and then by rushing to publish before having the study peer-reviewed, the people involved failed to prove that the red rain was extraterrestrial. But what they did demonstrate was exactly how not to conduct a scientific investigation.